kids to bed, dad's home. We are the DWO podcast, representing the dad world order. I am the handsome head of household, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. With me, as always, my dad team partner. He is the big bad bearded daddy. He is Big Rig Eric Murphy.
There it is, honk if you hear me. What's going on, man? Doing all right?
Yeah. Almost made it through the week, dude. Almost.
Well, as always, we are the DWO podcast. Tonight we have with us a very special guest. Another wonderful recommendation from our good friend, Tusslemania. The American Kaiju, the only Bloodsport champion, the Florida man, Lindsay Snow. How the heck are you?
Hey, I'm pretty solid. How are you guys?
Good. We're doing great. Okay, he's not going to stop. So, by the way, this is Briscoe, and he's going to say hi because otherwise he's not going to stop. Say hi, Briscoe. No? Okay. All right.
Difficulties.
He never says hi.
He's kind of but anyway, yeah, that's my 9-month-old puppy that loves attention. So,
I like that we both picked kind of gothic style t-shirts for tonight.
Oh yeah, I had to. I love this House of Black shirt. It's my favorite.
And then
fitting.
I've got a country shirt on.
Right.
Is that a Johnny Merle?
Yeah. There you go.
Love it.
Nice.
Heck yeah. So let me ask you this, because I've seen this popping up a lot lately. Do you fall into the, what do they call it, the y'alternative category?
I do.
Okay. All right. You like,
what is that? Please explain.
It's like country goth.
Okay.
Yeah,
like
loves metal, but also loves some good
the
country.
Cure and the Smiths, Morrissey,
Okay. I love it all, man. I love music from all genres, and especially live music. Something you might not necessarily listen to on the radio or, in your headphones, but you go to a live performance and it just, boom, just sucks you in.
Yeah.
Cephas, for instance, his band is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Toy Box, as they're known, with 2 X's. Yeah, that's actually, where is it? Yeah, that's their set list right there from the last show we were at.
Nice.
But yeah, so as everybody can see, Cephas is not here tonight. He's at the Kiss concert downtown.
Hey,
because he got free tickets. Yeah. Oh yeah. we both have MacBooks, and we found out about this last night. If you do certain gestures, it'll and it made it. We were laughing so hard last night finding that out. So anyway,
That's awesome.
So let me ask you, how did you? I'm assuming you met Tussle through wrestling down in Florida somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him. I've met him like a bunch of different times, just through wrestling. But I don't think the first time that we met was in Florida. I think we met at GCW in Atlantic City.
Okay.
But yeah, he's always been like the coolest dude. He gets the sickest footage, and yeah he's super great. So
yeah,
shout out to Tussle.
Absolutely. Shout out Tussle. He's one of our favorite people on earth. He's actually we're one of the sponsors for Wrestling Revolver, which is the Sami Callihan's promotion, all that. And we ended up getting to that point because of a relationship that we built with Tussle, and it all just started from me messaging him on Instagram like, hey man, your stuff is super awesome. I love because his, like you said, his footage is just so different from everybody else's, and it's awesome. So yeah, shout out to Tuss. He's amazing. Oh, there he is right now, Mr. James Eugene.
Hey.
Yes, one of his middle names is Bocephus. So
That's awesome.
That goes right along with the shirt you got on there. We love you too, buddy. Have fun at the Kiss concert.
Yeah.
So you are the current women's champion of IWE. I've never heard of that. Is that a Florida local promotion, I'm assuming?
No, it's a Georgia promotion. It's out of
Georgia,
Augusta.
okay.
And yeah, right now we're the biggest promotion in Georgia. We've been selling shows out, like reaching max capacity. Like every show has gotten bigger and bigger, so it's been pretty awesome to be a
Yeah.
part of that. And I've been the champion there for over a year now. So
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, that's we're in the northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area.
okay, cool.
But it's always been a plan of ours, especially since meeting Tussle, to try to get down to that area, Georgia, Florida, whatever, and go to some shows down there, because it seems like the indie scene down there is
Really
pretty
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have some of the best matches down here. Like the South is where it's at.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I think probably one of the most viral moments you're known for is, I'm assuming this was a death match of yours. And I forgive me, I don't know who your opponent was. I just know that he was not having a good day the next day when you took a weed whacker to his crotch region
Yeah,
while
that's
firecrackers
JJ.
were going off.
Yeah, that was JJ Escobar, and he was definitely not having a good day. I
Yeah.
lit firecrackers off on his dick, and then I got the weed whacker out of the crowd and went to town.
Gee. I'm sure he had it coming though.
It was such a really cool shot though, because the explosions were going off while I was pinning him, so we were
Yeah.
getting blown
Yeah.
up like during the
That
fall
was
count. So
sick.
that was pretty
That was really
awesome.
cool. And
Thank you.
I haven't always been a big deathmatch guy, but the last I would say like year and a half or so, I've definitely gotten more into it, watching GCW and stuff like that. So any of those clips that I can see online, I'm just, it's cool when people get creative with it. Like that was just like, you guys even have a ring, or you were doing it on, it looked like a skate ramp or something.
Yeah, we didn't have a ring. It was a no ring deathmatch show in the middle of this
Whew.
punk fest, and it was wild. But yeah, I pinned him on a skateboard ramp. It was pretty sick.
That's the most punk thing on planet Earth. I love
Right?
yeah, that's
I
super
was
cool.
gushing blood,
Oh yeah.
and it was just a really cool visual. I'm glad that I have that in my repertoire.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a cool one. Like, so what do you do? Oh, here you go. I do this, you know.
I believe that's a
Um
picture I was showing my coworkers
Dude,
today. Like, this is who we're interviewing tonight. Like, Jesus.
I'm not gonna lie. Since I've had that posted to my Instagram, I'll meet people in public, and they'll ask me about my tattoos, and we'll get to, I do tattoos, and I'll give them my Instagram, and I'll have to give them a disclaimer and be like, "Yo, I do pro wrestling, so there's a lot of pictures of me covered in blood, like before you go and look at it, because
right,
like."
yeah.
I don't want to turn people off like before they get the chance to like get tattooed from me, like before they
Right.
Parental
actually get a chance
advisory.
to meet me, like they're meeting me in public, but like I'm not like covered in blood.
Right. Yeah, you're not covered in blood tattooing people. Although that would be a pretty cool shot. Probably not the most sanitary, but still it'd be a cool like picture.
Right.
Um so have you been a fan of wrestling like your whole life, or is it something you got into later, or how did that all come about?
So when I was younger, my dad, he would turn on wrestling, and so I was exposed to it when I was younger. Um, and then like we would, raise each other, like raise our eyebrows to each other, and like he'd ask me if I could smell what the Rock was cooking all the time. But as I like went into middle school and high school, I kind of like stepped away from like watching pro wrestling and geared more towards watching MMA, and
Okay.
like Pride was around then, and so I became like a huge fan of Pride, and started watching like Fedor and Sakuraba, and Don Fry, Tear It
Yeah.
Up. I became a huge MMA fan, and then I decided that I wanted to start training jujitsu, and started training jujitsu. And then actually, because of tattooing, I was tattooing one day, and a guy came in, and he like noticed that I was watching pro wrestling while I was tattooing. He's like, "That's really weird. You're a chick that likes pro wrestling." And I was like, "Yeah, like I just started getting back into it, but I've been thinking about like being a pro wrestler." he was like, "Oh shit, well, I'm actually a pro wrestler. If you want to, you can come down and train this weekend. This is where we're training." And yeah, that's how I got started in pro
Heck
wrestling.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
shit.
awesome.
Right
I
place, right
always,
time.
yeah, I always like that when it's kind of a serendipitous type thing. You know what I mean? Like some people, it's like, oh, this has been my dream since I was 5 years old or whatever, and that's great and stuff. But it's cool when there's times where it's just like, oh yeah, I just met this guy tattooing, and he was like, come on down. So that's pretty cool. Now, did you jump into deathmatch stuff like pretty much right away, or did you know anything about it, or how did that come about?
So, no, I actually knew nothing about deathmatch wrestling at all. Not until like the past few years. And now I've gotten like a pretty sweet crash course by some really, really talented people in the business. And man, deathmatch wrestlers are some of like the best people on this earth. Like every deathmatch locker room that I've been in has had like nothing but these just like amazing people that want to help and like want like deathmatch to be kind of like our thing, but to also like do it properly and share it with the world on our
Yeah, for
terms,
sure.
you know?
Yeah.
It's always so
So,
funny to try to explain to like people that don't understand wrestling, and how it really works is like the people, how they really the more they like each other, the more they go out there and hurt each other. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And they do it to make themselves look good, so they make
yeah.
one another look good. And I mean, that's always something so cool to learn and hear those backstage stories about.
Some of like the least selfish people in the business are deathmatch wrestlers.
Yeah. And
For sure.
we've met so I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name. Oh, so the guy behind me right here, Mr. Alex Colon,
Hmm.
uh he
He's a good
actually
dude.
gave that covered in blood um wrestle buddy
I love it.
to my 7-year-old daughter like he was Mean Joe Green in the freaking Coke commercial throwing his jersey. Like we were at Revolver, he's covered in blood after a staple gun match, and my daughter's like kind of like looking at him, but like, oh man, whatever. And he was,
Just like
hey little
hesitant.
one, hey
Yeah.
little one, and she turns around and he just tosses it to her, and I'm just like, what a cool guy, and just it's
Such a
wild. You see this guy do the most violent crap on planet Earth, and then he's he's a little sweetheart.
For sure.
And
It's
uh,
adorable.
it's really cool, and I love bringing my daughter to these shows. She loves going. We were at the Revolver Women's Grand Prix
Oh,
um
sick.
a couple weeks ago when they did that, and that was such an experience for her. She got to meet Emmy Sakura, and like Emmy took a picture with it because her name's Emmy too, and she had a
Oh,
sign that said, "Hi Emmy, my name's Emmy," and it was a big. She actually gave her medallion thing that they got
oh,
for. Yeah, so that was pretty cool, and
dang. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that
That's
was that
super
was
sick, dude.
that was a big moment for sure, and it
Yeah.
not saying I don't necessarily want her to go into wrestling. If that's something she wants to do, great. But it's just a cool thing to get the bond over with her, because it's something that I love and she loves, watching it too. So,
That's awesome.
um,
That's what I was gonna
that,
say. You gave me hope, talking about, watching wrestling with your dad when you were younger. So,
Mhm.
it's something my kids necessarily really never watched with me in terms of watching on TV. I have gotten my son to go with me in the last like year or so. But if heck, he's 15 now, I got so much time there anyway. But it's like I said, it gives me hope that maybe someday, maybe Cameron
yeah,
definitely not Eddie. I got my,
I
my, my
think
oldest
Cameron will get
daughter.
into it.
Yeah, my oldest daughter has said, well, if I was interested in getting into wrestling, what would I have to do? It's like, well, maybe I know some people you could talk to.
Yeah. Like the cool thing about that is that like now I can have my parents come to shows to watch me wrestle, and like
Yeah.
see like having like that experience with my dad when I was younger, and now like he gets to watch me do it, and like
Yeah.
he's seen me like perform in front of like some pretty large crowds. Like they came to Bloodsport in Atlantic City to watch.
Oh God.
That was like the coolest experience that like for me particularly, just like having them at that point in time, that was like the biggest thing that I had done. And so that was just like a really awesome opportunity that Josh and Sumi Sakai, that was when I wrestled Sumi. And that was
Okay.
just like a super sick match, super fun match. My first time at Bloodsport. So that was like my first introduction to GCW as well. And
Yeah.
my parents were there for that. And then afterwards, it was sick. My mom got to come out, and I wasn't drinking, and so like people were trying to buy me drinks, and I was like, well, I don't drink, but my mom, you could get her a drink. And
Yeah. There you
Yes. There you go.
so my mom ended up like being initiated like GCW.
There you go. Yeah.
So
And
you probably
got to
gave your
meet my
dad like a
mom.
couple gifts that night. You know, he got to see you wrestle. You got your mom tipsy. You know.
Yeah.
For sure.
That-
And it was definitely like I've always like worked really, really hard just to like try to make my parents proud of me, because like
Sure.
I didn't like actually like have a like super great time when I was growing up getting along with them. Just we just didn't see eye to eye for a long time. And so
Sure.
like now that I'm older and stuff, and like I see them like more like we get along a lot better. We're more friends towards each other now. So that's
Okay.
been like a really awesome experience. And now like all I want to do is make them proud. And I think that getting to go to Atlantic City and wrestle for GCW, and you know, get to wrestle for another homie of mine, Josh Barnett, and that was just a really great experience, and I'm super thankful to have that.
That's
I'm sure.
That's so cool. I'm sorry, just real quick. I love Bloodsport. Like at the most recent one last year with Mike Bailey and Kota Ibushi was just
so good.
Oh my God. And Josh Barnett, what a freaking genius coming up with that. You know what I mean? And then he's still going at it on Wrestle Dream with Claudio, and then Mox is coming. It's just like the whole scope of it is just like anybody can come get it anytime, you know, come on. You know, Marina Shafir's been in there doing it. Like, what a great concept. And to be a part of that, just I can't even imagine how special that was for you.
It was sick, but Josh actually didn't create it. Matt Riddle actually did the first Bloodsport.
Did he?
So then Josh
that.
took it over. Yeah.
Okay.
So at first, but now it's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. So now it's
well,
like
yeah, I guess I just
different.
kind of assumed, but yeah.
But,
okay.
But
yeah, no kidding. I didn't know that either.
Little tidbit. I wasn't on the first one, but I was
which
on the
one?
second one.
You were on the second one. Okay.
I was on the second one, and then I was on the third one when we did the women's tournament, and I won the championship.
Hell yeah.
And I am the only I'm the only champion of Bloodsport. Like, there has been no other champion crowned at all.
Hell yeah. I love it. That's a hell of a moniker. I'll tell you that right now.
Thank you.
That's yeah. So have you ever wanted to go back and wrestle for GCW, or are you only interested in doing Bloodsport, or kind of just a scheduling thing, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's mostly like a scheduling thing. But I'm not opposed to it.
Okay. Now, what about coming up to the old wrestling Revolver? Have you ever thought about wanting to come do that?
Dude, I love Sammy and Havoc. Like, I've tattooed both of them. I'm down. I guess it's
Sammy.
just
Make it happen.
Whenever the stars align.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all about scheduling.
We'll harass Sammy until it happens for sure. We're already harassing him about coming on our show. So,
well, he's a free agent. I mean, come on.
Yeah. He kind of already was on our show, because the last show we did with Tussle was at Sammy's house, and Sammy was like sitting next to him and like randomly yelling out. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, we'll get him on here one of these days. We asked him to come on, and he hit us with the Step Brothers. Not even if there's a fire. And I'm like, damn, dude.
Damn.
But okay, so yeah, talking about tattooing. When did you start tattooing? When did you get into that?
I got my first tattoo when I was like 15, 16 years old, and started tattooing when I was like 17. So like around like 19 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Were you always like a
And-
doodler? Were you like artsy fartsy before that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like ever since I could pick up a pencil, I've drawn, and like I always have to be doing something, like making something.
Mhm.
ADD brained.
Oh yeah, I get it for sure. We're
I
we're both technicians of sorts. Mike's in maintenance. I'm in automotive, so we're working with our hands. Mike's fixing old TVs and video game consoles at home. We're always tinkering with something. So yeah, we get it for sure.
I guess like seeing what else I can do. Huh? You watch YouTube videos, people doing crazy stuff all the time. It's like, I can do that.
I remember my mom telling me stories about me taking apart the VCR when I was a kid, just because I wanted to do something. Like I want to see what the inside of this looks like, so
I did the same thing, man. My
Did
mom
you?
tells me she tells me all the time about like weird stuff I would take apart, and how she would just come in and like everything would be dismantled.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
Or I would climb shit. Like she would come in the house and I would be like on top of the refrigerator at like 3 years old. Like
It's a
I don't
free
know.
spirit from the get-go.
the fridge.
I don't know how much I climb shit. The stories of when I was a kid was me stealing the block of cheese out of the fridge and then running off with it, and my mom would find it like half gnawed, like a giant rat had got at it. But I love cheese, man. Still do to this day. It's great. So
Laid on the dairy, bitch.
darn tootin', baby. So you're currently tattooing. I see you posting about that quite a bit. Are you working for a shop specifically? Or are you kind of independent, or how does that work?
Yeah, me and a couple of my friends have a shop. It's called 13 Roses. It's in Tampa, off of 275 in Armenia. But it's an appointment only deal. So it works really, really well with me wrestling, because I don't have to be there all the time for walk-ins.
For walk-ins, yeah.
That's like, I mean, that's a good like job to have too as a wrestler, because then with that appointment base, you can have as much or as little as you kind of want, and still be able to do your shows and your bookings when you want to as well. Not a 9 to 5 like these schmucks.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, I did have tattooing. I did do tattooing for like a good 12 years before I started wrestling. So I had a good clientele base, so that when I did need to, switch to being appointment only, and I did have to like switch shops, because like the shop that I was working at, they weren't really cool with me having to leave for, any kind of time off. Some people weren't really like meeting me with like positivity on that.
Sure.
on that
Yeah.
front.
Yeah.
But
If you want
it is what
me,
it
you
is.
gotta have all of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part. So now I'm at a shop with like a couple of my friends that I worked with like for a long time over the years, and it works out pretty well.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Well, I was I believe one of the last times we talked to Tussle, he said he recently got I believe you did a lucha mask on him. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did a
was
lucha
sick.
mask on him, and the first time I tattooed him, I did a pretty cool camera on him.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, whenever we get down to Tampa, I don't say if, I say when, because it's going to happen. We're going to have to make some appointments down there, because we're all tatted up, and we definitely are going to need to get some tats from you. I think
We actually have an appointment, all three of us on the books, to get DWO tattoos.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Because when we say full life, we mean full life.
That's right.
Commitment.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't ever want to forget this, you know. It's
Our
over the grave with me.
I love it.
our buddy Cephas that isn't here tonight, he's got more than probably both of us combined. His are really fun too, because he's got on his stomach the Intercontinental title. Like,
No, he's the one that has that.
Yes.
I have seen that on so many websites.
Yes, it's not even finished yet. He's just got the line work done.
Oh, okay. I've seen a finished one.
No, not the meme.
That's
his is
amazing.
going to be the white strap one.
Oh, okay. All right.
His is going to look a lot better too.
All right.
But he also.
But you know which one I'm talking about, though, right?
Oh yeah. I've seen the
right.
meme a million times, and it's awesome. But I think his favorite tattoo of mine is on his calf, and it's Patrick Swayze as a centaur, and there's a speech bubble coming out of his mouth, and it says "Road Horse," and it's just I saw it once when we were all walking to a show together. And like Mike can attest this, he was standing there because I was walking behind him, and I was like, Cephas, do you have a tattoo of Patrick Swayze as a centaur that says "Road Horse"? And he's like, yeah, I do. Dude.
It sounded like you just plucked random things out of the air and threw them together. And was
like you just threw the dice with like a bunch of random shit on the dice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so,
that sounds great.
That'd be a fun game.
Yeah, he's got that. Actually, would be fun.
Yeah,
but
I'd end up with a dick.
I know what we're doing whenever you guys come get tattooed. I have to make some prop dice, and we're gonna.
That's such a good idea. Let's do that. That would be amazing. Just rando. Here we go.
I wasn't gonna let you do anything else.
No, that would be. See, because I'm super like indecisive when it comes to that stuff too. So like that is perfect. That is awesome. Yeah, I have like 1, 2, 3, technically 4, but this is like a bunch of them. But they all take me like over a year and a half to even think about. And I would like to do more of just like, hey, I want that, or just things that pop into my head. Now there is one that I do want to get that was on a flashboard at my artist's, and it's a slice of pizza with tits, and nice. I'm gonna get that colored right here with like the pizza. Nipples like pepperoni. Yeah, pizza, exactly. I just saw it on a flashboard and I was just like, I like both those things. So yeah, let's put it on somewhere. Yeah.
Kind of works.
So yeah, I definitely.
I have a Nintendo 64 logo tattooed on me.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely want to get more of that. They don't have to have a bunch of deep meaning. Like obviously, I got like a chest.
I think it's right
this
here.
One's.
I don't know. Can you see it?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's.
I
sick.
still want one, man. I never know what happened to mine. That was like my high school years. That was 007 Bond. Every day after school, there'd be like 8 to 10 wigs in mom's apartment, just stacked up. Fucking proximity.
Now, do you have any wrestling tattoos? Or are they all just random?
I have this kid slug. I don't know if you can see that guy, but right under him is I Heart Brandy, and Shotzi did that on me one night when we were drinking in Brandy's apartment when she lived in Orlando. And
that's
I
pretty cool.
I Heart Brandy on Shotzi, and then Shotzi tattooed I Heart Brandy on me. So I don't know if that counts as a wrestling tattoo, but it's kind of
that counts as a wrestling tattoo. That's awesome.
Absolutely. And
that
see
was
what
my favorite.
It's a great tattoo. It's got a great story. It's meaningful.
Yeah, that's amazing. I just have the one. I just got Mick Foley. Have a nice day.
Nice. That's sick.
And then this is all Norse mythology themed. I'm all over the place, but anyway. Yeah, I definitely like most of mine are like the Mick Foley one's the most like cartoonish one I have, and I definitely want more of that. Like I don't need them all to be super serious or like aesthetically pleasing. Like I want some fun stuff too.
You know what it is? You've just reached that point in your life where you don't care anymore.
That's it. Yep, you're right.
Yep.
You were correct.
That's okay. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
if
I'm
that's what
not-
that means, then I guess I reached that point at a very young
Yeah.
age.
That's okay too.
Okay, now let me ask you that. Do you have any that you were like, man, I really wish I wouldn't have got that? Or are you just happy with all of them?
I mean, whenever I have that feeling, I just cover them up.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
true.
You
Yeah,
know, everything
sure.
can be covered up if you like don't care about having a solid black arm.
That's true. Yeah. That seems to be pretty popular nowadays. I've seen a lot of, I guess, like musicians and stuff doing that from like when they got tattoos when they were like drug addicts and stuff, and then they'll
I
completely
want to
cover
say
them
I
up.
seen them do it with, like, and then do solid black and then go back over it with white and do like with like texturing and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Yeah,
That's wild.
I've seen that done a lot actually. The one of my friends that works with me, he works right beside me. I was gonna have him start doing that on my arm because I got a bunch of tattoos that I don't really care for when I was younger, and then I covered them up, and then I don't like the cover up anymore. So I'm just like, fuck it, let's just go ahead and just black that out. And then
I mean,
he's
the
like,
blackout does look cool. But like, to be fair, like if you want to cover it up,
be
like,
fair.
oh, look at my solid black arm. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate having a solid black arm, but like
Yeah.
at first, we used to call it like well, tattooers used to call it like the piercer arm because like it was like super common for piercers to just like completely like black, like they didn't even have tattoos underneath it. They just wanted like their arms to be like one solid color, and like it was just a wild phenomenon that was happening like in
Why
the early like
piercers?
2000s. I don't know, it was just like, they were like super into body modifications, and like it was just like
Okay.
a really weird time in piercing and tattooing.
Sure.
And that was like
yeah.
whenever I first started, like in the early 2000s. And
Okay.
so that's what like tattooers used to call it. And now it's like a whole like phenomena, and it's like reached like a trend now. So
Mhm.
it's not just piercer arm anymore. Now it's like,
What's your
a
most
trend.
What's your most like uncomfortable tattooing experience? Like the one like client you had that was creepy or just totally over the top extra?
I mean, it's like it's been a long time since I've like had a customer or a client that was like weirded me out. Just because I've been fortunate enough to like have clientele, and when you have clientele, you can like weed people out. You already know them,
Oh
you've already
yeah.
had an experience with
Sure,
them, so you
yeah.
take notes. You make sure that like if you save somebody's name in your phone, it's like don't answer. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Creepo.
but I mean, probably like one of like the funniest things that's happened to me. I mean, I guess it's kind of funny looking back at it, but when it happened to me, I was like, oh, like, what the hell? Like, so, all right, I'm tattooing this guy. And like, I was working in the north side of Jacksonville, and like, it was just like super hood. And the dude I'm tattooing, he's like on the phone making deals the whole time. And I'm like, all right, this dude sells weed. Obviously, he
Yeah.
sells weed. Like, I'm just thinking, I'm like 18 years old, right? And I'm just like, okay, cool. This guy sells weed. Awesome. And like, I get done with the tattoo, and he's like super pumped on it. I've been like hanging out with him for like a couple hours by that point. And we get done with the tattoo. He's super happy about it. I like, he pays me, and he's like, hey, I left you something underneath your napkin back there. And I'm like getting excited, I'm like thinking, oh shit, you left me a tip, right? So like I'm thinking it's either money or weed, right? I get back there, and I lift up the napkin, and I was like, what is this? The dude like tipped me in crack. And like
What?
I was like
Wow.
super like I was like I didn't know what it was at first. And like one of the guys I worked with, he's like, "Oh shit, that's crack." And then I was like really offended because I'm like, "Oh my God, do I look like a white girl that smokes crack?"
Right.
Like I'm on the north side of Jacksonville tattooing, and like I got my throat tattooed and my hands are tattooed, like I'm pretty heavily tattooed for a younger
Right.
person. And I'm like, "Oh my God, do I look like a crackhead?" Like, and I'm like, without missing a beat, one of the guys that I worked with goes, "No, you're too fat."
Oh.
Damn.
The weight loss program.
What an
Yeah.
underhanded compliment.
Yeah, so I was like, "All right, welcome to
You look
Jacksonville."
healthy, is what you look. You look healthy.
I was just
Okay.
like,
So
one of
you
those
hit the
things.
corner and
Yeah.
turn them
So-
crumbs into a stack.
Oh my God.
Mix the
Getting
baking
tipped with
soda with
crack.
it so you can get a Benz.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, Mom.
So is there any type of like style of tattoo you like more than any other, or you kind of just like the challenge of doing any of them?
No, I definitely love doing American traditional and like
Okay.
Japanese traditional for sure. I love doing lettering. Yeah, I do love tattooing, but there's definitely shit that I lean heavy towards, and
Okay.
dragons,
Hey,
cool shit.
I got
Like,
Yormander right there. I need to get him
Yeah.
shaded still, but yeah, he's been pretty sick. I love him.
I wish I wouldn't have taken up so much prime real estate when I was younger, because there's not really room to go with one genre or the other. But I love the American traditional.
Yeah.
As I got older and realized what the hell that was, and like seeing people that has that kind of work done, I think it's beautiful and I love it.
yeah, that's my favorite part about it is like seeing the people that got American traditional tattoos like back in like the 40s, 50s. Like you can still, most of the time, you can still see what it looks like, what it was
Yeah.
supposed to be. And like that's the kind of stuff that I kind of like try to reiterate to like my clientele nowadays. It's like, hey, look, like this is why tattoos need outlines, like because you want it to look good. You're going to be around for hopefully a little bit of time. Why not
Right.
have the shit on you that looks solid for like, a good amount of time. So
Right. Absolutely. You're right.
And if you're like me and never go in the sun, your tattoos will last forever.
Yeah.
right.
When you got to wear long sleeve all day long.
I'm not
So-
sick. I just work inside.
Yeah. You just work under fluorescent lights all day long. And there's no windows ever.
Oh man, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I used to spray
It's-
tan just to try to look healthier, but
Hey, have you ever looked into like a light therapy box? Like since you work inside all the time, have you ever heard of those?
no.
So
Do tell.
basically it's a box and it has like a bunch of different colors on it that'll like play in a sequence, and it's supposed to make you happy if you work inside all the time and you get like a vitamin D deficiency. You can have this light therapy box. Yeah.
Huh.
Look into it. They're pretty cool.
Certainly.
I used to have
Yeah.
one, and it was pretty awesome. You can put it on like right when you're like getting ready to go to bed, like right when you're about to fall asleep, put the light therapy
Yeah.
box on.
Dude, how
Okay,
nice would
yeah.
that have been when we were working night shift for 10 freaking years?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I
We're
guess
both
I-
on day shift now, thankfully, but yeah, working night shift and working inside all the time, we never saw the sun. It was rough.
I couldn't
Especially
do
in
it.
the winter.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ugh,
Go to work, dark. Go home, dark.
dark. Depression City.
And it's
It was
cold
terrible.
too,
Yeah.
right? It's cold where y'all are.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It's
I mean-
definitely fall weather here right now. 50s.
It's 80 degrees. I just looked at my thermometer in my car. It's 80 degrees here.
80 degrees.
I know, but it's like hoodie weather here though, and like campfires and
I like
Well,
the hoodie weather.
That's hoodie weather here, 80 degrees. Anything that drops below 85 is technically like jacket
You're
weather
Putting
down here.
a winter coat on. Yeah. I'm
I guess
sure.
I guess
Break out
weather
your
is a
Ugg
matter of
boots.
perspective.
Break out your. Is
This is
that
like-
now? Is that where you're from originally? Is Florida?
Yeah, I'm from Jacksonville originally.
Okay.
I
All
just live
right.
in
So
Tampa now.
have you ever experienced the cold of the north?
Well, I've been above the Mason-Dixon line a few times, but I lived in I lived in North Carolina for about a year, and it it was so cold. Like one day it went from like 75, and the next day it was like 35, and I
Yep.
woke up that morning that it was 35 degrees, and I sat in the car with the heater on until my boyfriend came to drive me to the mall to take me to buy real clothes because I was wearing Florida clothes.
That sounds about like weather
honey,
here, though.
This is called a jacket. It'll keep you
Dude,
warm. Yeah.
Florida does not make thick clothes.
Oh yeah,
Like
no, that's why
you
would you?
you
That's
can't.
dumb.
You just need rain stuff because it
Yeah.
just at any given moment it's gonna rain. That's been my
Yes.
experience in Florida.
Swimsuits are a must.
Yes.
Swimsuits and
Obviously.
sunscreen are a must.
It's
Absolutely.
just all the tourists, man. It just that just gets me. So I guess if you're in an area where there's not a lot, but it doesn't, you're in Tampa and Jacksonville, either one of those, there's freaking people everywhere. Doesn't that drive you nuts a little bit?
Yeah, but I mean, it's
For
not that
traffic
bad
alone.
because I've gone and visited friends in New York and in Los Angeles,
Ugh.
and I will trade Tampa traffic any day for like New York traffic or LA traffic.
Yeah.
Fuck that
True
shit.
that.
That's for the birds.
It's half your day. Half your day in traffic.
Zero fucking desire to ever experience that. If I'm being
No,
real.
thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, I've been down to Tampa a few times. My buddy's sister used to live down there, and we would go to like Clearwater Beach and stuff like that. It's definitely it's a nice area to go for sure. So we will definitely have to come down and visit at some
Oh
point.
yeah.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. Clearwater is one of like the best beaches in the world right now. I think it's usually like the top 5.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt. I loved it every time I was down there. It was awesome.
My in-laws lived in Madeira Beach, and it was
Nice.
beautiful there. And that's
Yeah.
I believe we came right up to Clearwater for a day or so.
Hell yeah.
So do you have any promotions around Tampa that you wrestle for as well?
Yeah, I wrestle for CCW and Shine. So you'll be able to catch me a bunch now in Florida, which
Okay.
I haven't been able to say lately. So it's pretty awesome. I've been working with CCW in Hialeah, Port St. Lucie, Kissimmee, and I believe Pompano was the last one. But yeah, I'm working all over Florida with CCW, and I'm working mainly in Clearwater for Shine.
Okay. So I saw you actually had a match with a former guest of ours, current NWA signee Ruthie J.
Yeah.
And I believe she is the current CCW champion. Is that correct?
Yeah, she
Okay.
is.
Is that
She better watch.
something maybe on your horizon possibly?
I mean, heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? But with every crown comes the guillotine.
That's right. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Heck yeah. Well, if that ever comes about, that'll definitely be a fun one to watch.
CCW where Cheese is at?
I believe that he was there because I believe I've heard people talk about him being there, but I don't know if he's currently there right now.
He's another buddy of ours. We're actually in a fantasy football league together. He's a fun guy. Good old Cheese, the Gouda Godfather. Yeah, I don't know what all promotions he wrestles for down there. We actually did have a friend of ours that messaged me when I posted the story that we were going to have you on. He was like, "Holy shit, that's awesome!" It was Patrick from Men's Health Unscripted.
Oh, really?
They're based down there too. So, I will. I absolutely will.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, those guys are good dudes. We definitely need to have them on here again. We were talking about that the other night.
Just sent us a bunch of stickers in the mail.
Yeah, good old
Appreciate
Men's
it,
Health
guys.
Unscripted. I love their logo. It's so good.
Yes.
Pair of headphones with a microphone sticking out. It's very very on the
Cute.
nose.
It's
Yeah.
very suggestive, shall we say?
Hey. Love it.
So I gotta ask too, because I've seen this kind of. You have the teeth bedazzling. Is that? I don't know exactly what you call it. Okay. Teeth. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that process work? Because I've never even seen a video of that being done. Is it just glue or like what is that?
It's kind of like resin.
Okay.
So it's like an epoxy type.
So it's
feel.
almost like
okay,
setting
yeah.
like it's like setting like how they set braces, like the brackets
Right,
on your
yeah.
teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably like an infrared
Okay.
light or something like that. It sets in epoxy
Mhm.
resin.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Okay.
exactly how. they
That's
do it.
awesome, man. Who the hell came up with that idea? That's brilliant.
I don't
Got
know,
bling
but
bling in your
I'll-
grill without having to
Yeah,
have a mouthpiece.
I'm super stoked about it because I lost my. I had a platinum grill. It was like just the bottom fours, and I was like pissed that I lost it, and voila, got
There you
these.
go.
My friend Meredith
Perfect.
did them up in Augusta, actually. Shout out to
Okay.
Meredith.
Now, is that something where if you like want to change them out or something, there's just like a, I don't know, whatever chemical that like dissolves the
Like a-
resin, or how does that work?
I
Or are
haven't
they
got
pretty
there
permanent?
Yet.
Is that like when you climb a tree really high and you're like, wow,
How
I
do
got
I
all the
get
way up
down?
here, and you're like, shit.
I don't know.
how
how
to
to
get
get down.
Nah, I'm pretty sure that like you can just pop them off.
Okay.
That's
All right.
I had them on my bottom teeth and I just popped those off. But
Okay.
I'm pretty
I
sure
mean,
that
not
you could
that
just
you'd
like,
want to. I just didn't know if you're like, oh, I want
You
to.
kids and your fads.
Well, you know, you can probably do like, you know, colored ones if you want to match your gear, or you know, something like that. I
Mikey
think that'd
does.
be
He's
pretty
got
cool.
braces. He has to like think ahead of what he's got in his schedule before he gets his bands put on his braces. Gotta get them.
Oh, I
right
did
colors.
that when I was a kid. I'd get
Yeah.
I'd get Notre Dame colors if they were playing a big game on Saturday, or I'd get Bengals colors if they were playing on Sunday. Yeah.
that's
I
awesome.
had to clear braces. That was a huge mistake.
Oh,
Dude, I
really?
never
You eat,
got
no matter what you
braces.
ate it.
You never
That's
had
why I
them?
got these things. Because like okay, so whenever I was getting the tooth jumps put on, my friend, she asked me, because I was telling her, I was like, oh, I really hate this tooth and this tooth. I don't want to put them on there. And she was like, no, put them on the teeth that you hate the most. That way you'll like them better because they'll be pretty.
There you go. There you go.
So
Look at
now I
that.
just can't
I like
stop
her.
smiling.
Smiling
Yeah.
away. Gotta love it. Mike, we need to look into this.
Yeah. I think it'd be a
Get
good
I
look
can
for
hook
you.
you up. I got a girl. Whenever y'all come down.
I really
Get
think it'd be a good look for you.
I think it'd be a great look. I'm sure my daughter would be thrilled. She's already
She'll
super
be begging
thrilled.
you to take her.
Yeah, that she already thinks it's weird that I pierce my ears. And I started stretching them. I got tunnels in now. They're not huge, but
Gotta start somewhere, buddy.
She always calls me a weirdo. But
She'd
that's
call you
know,
weirdo no matter what, dude.
that's pretty run of the mill.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
sounds like you're
you
doing
know.
a really good job as a dad because
Hey.
you're not really like a dad until your kid calls you a weirdo, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the
Until
way
you
I gotta
embarrass
look at it.
them.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mike, you want to hit her with the dad question? We ask all our guests this, by the way.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. What do you keep your thermostat set to?
Oh shit. So, all right. I have my living situation is pretty funny. I live with an older couple and their mom. And
Oh, it's cold then.
so I don't touch
It's cold.
that thermostat.
Yeah.
All right,
Darn
there you go.
tootin'
Good
doll.
answer. Good answer. Good
If
answer.
I did, Irene would lose her shit, and then Frank would lose his shit.
What do you think? We got a money tree in the backyard or something?
Shout out Frank.
I don't touch the thermostat.
What a name. Of
There you
course,
go.
his name's Frank. That
Good
just, I can
answer.
picture him now. That's awesome.
Yeah. If you could imagine, like, okay, so I call, like, his name is Frank, but like, I don't know if you guys are Always Sunny fans or anything like that, but I'm a huge
Absolutely.
Always
Yep.
Sunny fan.
Is he
But
Frank
I'm
Reynolds?
Charlie. I'm Charlie and he is Frank. Okay?
Yes.
I get Charlie jobs all the time. We're not going to play Who Pooped the Bed, though.
Now I gotta go watch Always Sunny. Oh my god, that's amazing. So you live with Frank Reynolds. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, you're mashing it. You're mashing it.
You're just mashing it in, Gail.
You're just mashing it in. Get out of here, snail.
Salt the snail.
Salt the snail. Oh yeah, I love me some Always Sunny.
Same.
Okay, so is there any kind of like goals for on the horizon for you? Any like promotions you haven't worked for yet that you would like to, or pretty happy with where you're at, or what do you got going on there?
Any place I haven't been yet, I'm down to work. I definitely want to go to Canada. I want to go to Japan.
Sure.
Germany would be tight. I would just like to travel the world and get to do the wrestling stuff with my friends.
I feel like it's
Hell
such a
yeah.
good time to be in wrestling, though. I mean, no matter what your piece of the pie is, it feels like the wrestling world is a buzz right now, and a lot more people
Yeah.
are getting opportunities. I mean, I don't know if it's like that from your perspective, but just kind of seeing people that we know and that we've, interacted with thus far, and seeing the opportunities that they've come across as of late. Our buddy Jack Vaughn, for instance, he's doing a European tour right now. And it's so hopefully you get to see some of that shine as well. I mean, your body of work is definitely impressive. You're part of a niche, not only a women's wrestler, but a woman who's willing to put it on the line and do death matches as well. That puts you in a small percentage of people of the world that would do something like that. So it's so fucking
Crazy.
cool. Yeah, that's so cool.
No, it's awesome. You can call it crazy, but it's there's one thing like I said, I didn't really get deathmatch at first, but after watching quite a bit of it now, man, the people that are really good at it, holy shit, they're really good at it.
Yeah.
And it feels like you said, there's those locker rooms, it's almost like that bond is even more because you guys are putting yourselves through what you're putting yourselves through. So that's really cool. Really cool.
And I know I can speak for us dads when I say, if your parents are anything like us, they're definitely proud of you, because it seems all parents want is to see their children happy and taking care of themselves.
For sure.
And you seem to be
Absolutely.
doing both. So,
I'm gonna cry.
Hey, we made Al Snow cry a couple weeks ago, so we're pretty good at it right
Yeah.
now.
It's
It was-
Not my dad. I'm sorry.
It was a good cry though. It was a
Yeah.
good cry.
He's not
We
my
got
dad.
We got his daughter. Well, we know one. Well, what I didn't know about him is that he has like 6 kids. I thought he had like 2. We found that out during the show. That was hilarious.
It's funny because like the first time I met him, I was like, yo, my shoot name is Snow. Like that's my government issued last name. And I was like, we can run an angle. I could be like your illegitimate daughter. And he's like, oh, don't say that too loud.
The 90s were,
It's like, how old are you? Oh my God.
Yeah. Hold on a second now. Yeah. But
Dude, that dude's amazing.
Yeah.
He's got such a great sense of humor.
He's
Yeah,
silly.
for sure.
He's silly.
Even like I just like seeing his post every day because it's something just off the wall. And
Ridiculous.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
His poor
Ridiculous.
wife. His poor wife. She has to look at him some days. I hate you. I know my wife does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Your wife.
I mean,
puts
isn't that
up
the
with
point of
some-
being married?
Yeah.
Hey, Jesse puts up with some magnificent shit, is what she puts up with.
Hey, but I'm a beast in the kitchen too.
That's
I'm
right.
a catch, dude. Whatever.
Yeah. So I gotta ask, because your logo down here is a newer one. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just
It's fantastic.
drew that thing up.
You drew. Okay, that's even cooler. That's awesome. And I've seen you kind of posting different places to get your merch and stuff like that. Can you tell me where exactly I can get merch from you? Because I don't know if you know, our buddy Cephas has a world record for going the most consecutive days wearing a different pro wrestling t-shirt. Oh no. Oh,
We're
there
good.
you are.
Psych.
We're
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Psych.
Going the most consecutive days wearing a different pro wrestling t-shirt, and he's on day 657 today.
Holy shit.
So he's definitely going to want a shirt. I know I do. So let where we can get your stuff.
You can grab it at deathmatchworldwide.com. And yeah, just look up my name and this new shirt that I just released. Like, I believe last week I released it. But yeah, it's a ketchup logo, but it's under Hot Stuff 87 because of little Hot Stuff Devil. That's the tomato.
Instead of Heinz 57. That's fucking
Love
brilliant. Love it.
That's awesome.
Were you eat like staring at a ketchup bottle one day and we're just like,
So
ketchup. I got it.
the ketchup party actually came because whenever I first started doing death matches, I was showing somebody a picture of me, and they're like, "Oh, that's not real blood, that's ketchup." And I was like, "Yeah, it's just a huge ketchup party." And they're like, "What?"
Blood
What?
and ketchup don't really look alike.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just started calling death matches ketchup parties.
I love it. That's so creative. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get that, and definitely gonna need a sticker as well. I'm a big sticker guy. So, and if you ever decide to make pins, I'm gonna need a pin because I collect pins. So
I've actually been looking into that because I think that this logo would be a pretty cool pin.
Oh, it'd be a sick pin.
I'll have to see how small I can get them or how large I can get the pin, because I just got these stickers in and they're like 2 inches, and I think that's like the perfect size for like a pin. So I'll see if I can get 2-inch pins. We'll see.
I mean, you could be like Manders and make his the size of a freaking cigarette pack. So you got to put that on your hat and walk around like this.
Like pulls your pants down if you put it on your
yeah, shout out Manders. I'm just giving him shit.
love Manders.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He we've
solid.
gotten to know him through Revolver as well. Mance and Justice don't talk as much, but Manders is a talker, so we've gotten to know him pretty well.
It's funny, there's an SGC surveying company in our area, and every time I see him every day, and every time I see him, I pop for him. Glad to see the guys branching out.
Yeah, surveying, doing
so
all
good.
that stuff.
I giggle every time.
Yeah,
I'm such a child.
Heck yeah. Well, yeah.
It's all right.
Trust me,
Big
we are
fucking
all
big
very
kid,
big kids,
and I'm proud of that. I'll never get old. I'm Peter Pan.
Yeah. We get told that all the time. You guys watch professional wrestling? Isn't that for kids? Well,
yeah.
Joke's on you. I'm a 34-year-old kid, so deal with it.
Like whenever people ask you to like poorly explain your job, I'm always like, well, I fight my friends on the weekends in my underwear for belts, and we don't even wear pants.
That's an awesome explanation. I love it.
Or like for tattooing, I'm like scab bender.
That's amazing.
I need to come up with one for mine. I'm sure I can come up with something. I work at a meat processing plant.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We make third world spam.
Yeah, it's not even sold here. No big deal.
I'll think of
all
something
right.
for you.
There you go. Lindsay will come up with your catchphrase. So tell the people where they can find you on the socials and whatnot.
I know what you're saying because I lost the sound already.
Oh no. I was gonna say,
yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I was gonna say, tell the people where they can find you on the socials and whatnot.
You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok at the Florida Ma'am.
Love it. That was actually one of the first things when I found your page on Instagram. I saw that handle and I was like, this person's pretty cool. I'm going to follow. Like, I think I had seen like one post, and it wasn't even the Weed Whacker one. It was just like you covered in blood. And I saw the Florida Ma'am and I was like, that's genius. So yeah, this is happening.
Thank you. Yeah, I was super stoked that nobody had taken that moniker or that handle yet. And I was like, oh, sold. That's
Done.
me for the rest of my life now.
Yeah, exactly. And you know that there's going to be some like content creator out there that's going to want it, and you're going to be like, fuck you.
That's funny.
So that's awesome.
You Google that name, when you finally think of something and you Google it, and you're like, yes, nobody else did it yet.
Nobody else did it.
I like it because it's continuity across all apps.
Yeah, that helps. Trust me. It
Damn
drives
it.
us nuts that Facebook will not let us change and put an underscore in ours. All across all the other apps, it's at DWO_podcast, but Facebook is at the DWO podcast, and it's the
Thanks,
most annoying
Mark.
thing ever.
Thanks.
No underscores.
We need to start writing.
Yeah.
Let's start writing well-worded emails to him about this issue.
We will.
It's not worth bitching about if you're not willing to do something about it. So if I got to write a congressman, I'll write a congressman. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm sure they get sent directly into his robot brain or whatever. So yeah,
He probably just
rock and
heard me
roll.
right now. So
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll be
he
suspended
did.
from.
He's always listening. Well, Mike, you got anything before we get out of here, man?
Yeah, check out our merch. Buy some merch. If
Yeah,
you see
please
us,
do.
buy some merch because I always have merch on me.
That's true. We do. We got some pretty cool stuff. Got a lot of cool designs over at T Public and on Pro Wrestling Tees. Maybe one day we'll get into the deathmatch game and get on Deathmatch Worldwide. That'd be pretty cool. DWO sold out deathmatch tournament. Let's do it, Mike.
I'm too old for barbed wire, man.
Well, you don't have to do it. I'm just saying we sponsor the
sponsor.
event.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
No, I'm not asking you to go through panes of glass. Let Lindsay do that, man. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for coming on. You've been an
I'm
absolute
on
blast.
blood pressure medication. I'll probably bleed
I
out.
know you are. You're 800 years old. I'm aware. Thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on here.
Yes, thank you, Lindsay.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll definitely have to come down to Florida here sometime soon, and we'll make an appointment and come watch you weed whack the shit out of somebody. So that'll be awesome.
Hopefully, let you stab us a little bit.
Yeah. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Hey, sounds like a good time to me. Well, as always, we've been the DWO podcast. I am Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin, and she has been the American Kaiju, the only Bloodsport champion, the Florida man, Lindsay Snow. Thank you so much for coming on. Check us out on all the socials. Pretty sure I already plugged all that stuff, so I'm not going to say it all again.
Right
until
there.
next time, Top Dads out.